Hello, hello, hello. Today is November the 14th, 2022. Trading and investing of any kind carries risk. Everything discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as financial advice because I don't give advice. That is why. So let's look at the market today. What happened today? What happened Friday? Because I didn't do a video on Friday like I wanted to. Have other things going on, got the family and all that, but let's look here. So here's what we had today. We got these this accumulation that started this morning around 398.53, and if you look, pushed up to that 398.53, hovered right under it, all these wicks pulled under it. It's that splash. So kerplunk, push, splash back down. But where did we stop? Interestingly enough, we stopped exactly roughly at 394.78. Exactly roughly. Anyway, around 394.78. Well, guess what 394.78 was? It's where we accumulated on Friday. So what happened? Did we sell? Did we buy on Friday, sell today? Or are we just accumulating for a bigger move? Well, I would assume we're probably accumulating for a bigger move. Could be wrong. We shall see. What bigger move are we looking for? Well, we have some reports that'll come out. We also have a certain someone who keeps mentioning they're going to make this big announcement tomorrow on the 15th. Love that person or hate them, that person moves markets in a significant way, especially once they start running their mouth. So, could be that. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a very interesting place that we stopped today, though. All right, we stayed under these we came back under these prints at the end of the day, stayed above the prints the accumulation on Friday. Very interesting. So what would we like to see? Well, I would still like to see us hit this area to finish off this cipher. So we hit 400 today. We just barely got through it, like 400 and a little bit of change, not much. 400 is a very significant number though, right? It's one of those, it's a whole number, 400. It's just a number that's a psychological number. So we got the signal that came in around 403, which really lines up well with this cipher. So I'd like to see this thing complete. We shall see if it does. And then furthermore, if we get to that point and we happen to push up a bit further here, it would be nice to have an even larger cipher complete, pop through it up in this 413 area, and then give us a pullback. Now, the interesting thing here is, we're seeing some weakness, and it makes me a bit nervous. We're going to have a lot more buying come in to keep us up here. Because if you start looking, if I were to let's move this up here on the 5-minute here, look at this push that got us to here. In this area, and this little pullback right here, and this push right here, that's all. And that next push, it's just crazy. I don't trust it. Then we got this push here, right? If we line it up here, let's knock this off here. There we go. And so you start looking here, you start looking at these pops up, and what we're getting is less and less momentum to keep moving further. And to get through 400, it's going to take a lot more momentum than this. It's going to take a lot of momentum because we already had this big push, got sold into. We're going to have a lot more buying to continue up. Not saying that we won't. We very well could. But right now, we're seeing some weakness. We bounce over to the 15-minute. Same thing. Same weakness. 1 hour. Same weakness. Right? Look at this. Momentum is dying, but the market is not really falling. It's still in this accumulation. So there's a lot of buying and selling, right? As something moves, getting sold into. As it starts to pull, it gets bought into. So it's just I just don't trust it. So we're going to have to see what happens tonight in the futures, pay attention to what's going on. So it's kind of where my head is at. So if we were to look further into the day, we could actually continue on here and look at others. So the 4 hour, the 4 hour is, I don't really see quite as much. It's still looking weak, but I just don't see as much. Yeah. Anyway, it's just kind of what I see. Just looks weak. So if we were to look into today, let's dive in a bit more just on the day itself. What do we get? What do we get? Let's clean this up a bit here. Well, at the end of the day, we got this head and shoulders, right? I mean, we pushed. So actually, let's back up before we get there. We had a couple patterns here. We had this M. It was a bit of a sloppy M, I will say. Something like that. Inside of that M, we had, if we were to zoom into the 1 minute, we would see, I'm going to assume we would see a W that looked pretty much like that. Actually, I think we would see two W's. We would see a W here, and then a bigger one here. Actually, let's just look at this before I start guessing at what we saw today. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, we got this W here, this little W here that kind of created this center point, and then we got this bigger one that, you know, kind of pushed us up, and then we had the other side of that complete. So what did we get after that? We got this little M that was created from here, double bottomed ish roughly. And actually it was a pretty solid 88.6, I would say. I'm going to measure that because I don't know how right I am on it. Let's look and see. That's a bit of a cipher, so I'm going to say 78.6, or did it come to 88.6? Yep, it did hit 88.6. So 88.6, sorry if I just breathe into the mic here. Sorry, that was just for my own sanity there. Then pulled through VWAP, came down, created this reverse head and shoulders right here. I mean, nice little VWAP play here. Bounce, double bottom on the, I mean, it looked like we could have set this M up, right? But we got this big doji. Popped us back up, right? Got this reverse head and shoulders. Broke the neckline. You know, we tried to go here. But so here's the interesting part about trying to break through here. And it's the way it seemed to be most of the day. As we tried to break, you know, you get this momentum come in, but it would get sold into. It was just weird. It was weird all day like this. It was just one of those things I kept noticing, and it just, you know, it just wasn't sitting right with me all day. Let's look at this. Same amount of momentum. Same amount of momentum. Like they're right spot on. It was just, anyway. So, and we have these levels over here, right? These levels, if we go back, there are levels from previous, you know, bounces and pushes. And these are those levels. So we had a hard time breaking through them, especially this particular one here. Then we get up here, we break 400, right? 400 is, let's just put us a little line here at 400, right? That's 400 right there. We just couldn't stay above it. We just could not stay above it. We tried, we couldn't. Same amount of momentum, right? To break through a number like 400, you need buyers, lots of them. And especially to stay above it, right? You can pop through it, but if you want to stay above it, you got to get buyers. So what ended up happening? Well, we ended up getting this head and shoulders pattern. And once we pulled through VWAP, tried to recover, rejected off VWAP. I mean, it's just a, I mean, I wouldn't say textbook play, but it's pretty damn close to a textbook play. So that took us into the end of the day, right? That's how I probably would have played the day. So, you know, all in all, decent range to make a little bit of money, especially for an accumulation day. But we're gonna need some momentum to pop through this 400. So hopefully we get it, right? I mean, hopefully we get a catalyst and it pops through. This accumulation will take us up. And if we happen to push, you know, if this accumulation is to take us up and we get significant buying coming in, my opinion is, not advice, my opinion is, we are going to see higher levels. If we pop through 400 and we can base above 400, we get to this 403, we're going to probably push to this trend line, which is roughly in the 410. We might even, you know, get a wick all the way up to this 413 because we've had these signals up here for 410. So that is just the way that I'm looking at it. Now, of course, I'll watch the futures. I'll play what I see because that's how I trade. I try not to have a biasness, right? Of course, after this is done, what I'm going to go do is to figure out, okay, I've got this opinion of what I would like to see happen, but I don't trust it because of the divergence that I'm seeing. So, I'll have to kind of figure out what it is that I'm seeing. I'm going to try to find all the things that that go against what I think is going to happen, so I can be prepared for those as well. So, I think that's pretty much all I have for now. I like making these videos. Like, subscribe, tell your cousin, tell your sister, tell your mom, tell whoever. And I will see everybody later. Bye.